and Means Committee. He joins us now. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on. Just the overall thought, do you find yourself at that point, like we've heard, that these No Kings demonstrations have come to an end? Perhaps maybe Democrats would come across the aisle in the Senate?
Well, that would be great, but you don't see any talk or movement in that direction. The reporting that I've been reading is the Democrats are kind of putting November 1st on their calendar as a date that once those ACA tax credits expire at the end of the year, but that's the date that everybody gets notified that politically that's their kind of off ramp. So that'd be a month. I mean, both sides are obviously pretty dug in their position, and our position is we passed a continuing resolution to fund the government. It's not a Republican bill. It's a continuing resolution, the same thing that Chuck Schumer's voted like 12 times for over the last 8 years, to fund the government and to keep the government moving while Republicans do the appropriations process. They want to say Republicans are in control, but it takes 60 votes in the Senate to get anything done. And so they're holding hostage legal immigrant funding for health care. They're holding hostage our military pay. They're holding hostage border agents. They're holding hostage all of the federal workforce. Gives broad latitude to the administration to cut necessary spending in order to preserve the function of our government, because Democrats are failing to just continue operations as it was.
Yeah, and there were some Democrats, by the way, who voted with Republicans in the Senate. To your point, they don't have quite the number that they need. We spoke earlier on the show with Democratic Washington Congressman Adam Smith, and he has a lot to say about Republicans not coming to the negotiating table. Here's that moment.
Well, because it's not bipartisan. There was no effort whatsoever to include Democrats in the discussion. Every other CR that I've ever voted for was negotiated between Republicans and Democrats, because you need Republican and Democratic votes to pass a continuing resolution, even if one party controls both the House and the Senate and the House, the Senate, and the White House. This time, you need 7 Democratic votes in the Senate. The Republicans passed a continuing resolution that did not negotiate with Democrats at all.
So what do you make of that argument? And even if there were negotiations to take place, do you think Republicans would be convinced to extend these Obamacare subsidies?
No way. That's a non-starter for conservatives like myself. Right. And we don't have to negotiate with Democrats in the House. We passed a bill. There was one Democrat in the House that voted for the CR. It's sitting in the Senate. So we don't have to go to the Adam Smiths of the world to get any of their input, because they didn't vote for the bill and it passed with Republican votes and 1 Democrat. So the bill's sitting in the Senate. I've called on Leader Thune numerous times. I know he's not going to do it. I've had discussions with leadership on it. Change the rules and allow it to pass by a majority of the chamber. They did it for Trump's judges. You can do it for the CR. They would have to change the rules. They call it the nuclear option to fund our government. That would be a resolution of the matter that only takes Republicans to get it done. But Adam Smith saying that we need to come to the negotiating table for what? It's a continuing resolution. It's actually continuing Pelosi and Schumer funding levels from like 4 years ago, because that's how we funded the government over the last several years. So it's something that he's voted for probably 6 to 8 times. We don't have to go to them. It's unfortunate that we have to go to Democratic senators in the Senate to get a vote to fund the government, because the American people gave us the House, the Senate, and the White House, and they were very confounded by the fact we have to go to Chuck Schumer to negotiate a deal to get it out of the Senate.
All right, really quickly, I wanted to get your thoughts, if we have 30 seconds, on the No Kings demonstrations. 2,700 demonstrations held throughout the weekend, thousands upon thousands. Just your overall sentiment when you've seen it on social media, maybe you saw it on the news, your thoughts on the No Kings protest.
Well, we had a Charlie Kirk remembrance here in my district that I spoke at. We had thousands of people. There was the competing No Kings rally downtown that had a lot less people. You had pro-Palestinian flags. You have the far left, people that support communism, all of these different types of things that the American people just don't support. The majority of America supports President Trump. He got voted overwhelmingly. He won all the swing states. He won the popular vote. This is what the American people voted for. I guess it's the only thing they have to do is to do these different protests. But the majority of the American people are with President Trump and his policies.
All right. That is Congressman Greg Steube joining us here on Newsmax this morning. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Good to see you guys.
You got it.